Off Limits is the money podcast that blows up stereotypes, showing you that managing money doesn't have to be hard.
We want you to thrive, not only with your money, but in every part of your life.
What you will get out of this podcast is real, relatable, and relevant tips and strategies that you can apply today. Hi, I'm Donald Raymond, and this is
Christine Spiak. We are money coaches, business owners, and colleagues who are passionate about helping you become more of who you are. So if you're ready, join us. So much power in compounding interest. And I know Donald has another example for you.
Yeah. So, just thinking through this and wanting to give a range and, just give some practical information that somebody could use to make a decision and break it down into something that would be achievable or attainable. So depending on where you are in your financial life, I'm going to give you what the value would be of a certain amount of money invested for 40 years. So assuming you're starting this on day one, right, and you're putting money away for retirement, you graduate college and now you're saving. If you did that for 40 years and you returned an average of 10% on this account, which should be an average return on most mutual fund accounts, $1 would be worth $200,000. Not super exciting. $5, this is $5 a day, for 40 years at 10% return is going to be worth $1 million. $10 is going to be worth $2 million. So up to this point, we're roughly doubling. Jump up to $20 a day, which is roughly eating out, right? It's hard to eat out for between, 15 to 20 bucks now, depending on where you're going. That money every day for 40 years would get you almost $4 million, and $30 a day would return almost $6 million. Returning 10% if invested consistently. And I should have done the math. I didn't. But if you compare the amount saved to the amount of growth, it's somewhere in the neighborhood of you put 10% of your money in, the rest is growth. And that to me is huge.
And the numbers you're using are not huge numbers.
They're not.
If you're a low income earner, if you can
go to $5,
do $5 a day, what was that? 2 million?
It was $1 million. Yep.
Well, there you go. $5 a day for 40 years.
Makes you a millionaire.
Makes you a millionaire.
Which is the average price of a Starbucks coffee. So a coffee a day makes you a millionaire.
It is within reach.
It is. Absolutely.
That's what we want you to walk away with. You do not have to be a high income earner to become a millionaire. You do not have to have an inheritance to become a millionaire. Just
a little bit of intention and discipline will get you there. So how do we put this into practice? This is long-term thinking, right? This is getting that, $1, $2, $3, $4, $5, $6 million that we need to retire with. We got to do a lot of other things along the way in order to make sure that we both protect our retirement, but also pay for the things that we're going to need and the things that we hopefully are going to be able to buy that we want along the way, right?
Yeah.
And so there's a term that is used for those kinds of funds. What are those called?
They're called the sinking funds.
Sinking funds.
If you just think of it, you're sinking money into a fund, a savings account, to be used when you need it. So we're talking about setting up savings accounts.
And I kind of described that, right? I said, if you can convince yourself to make a payment for something, you're going to pay for whatever that is, whether it's watercraft or a car or a house or whatever, you're going to make a payment. So you're going to pay your principal balance, but you're also going to pay interest. So if you can accept the payment, why not pay yourself into a sinking fund and keep the interest, right? And if you can put that money into a high yield savings account, then you can pay yourself the interest. And then when you have enough, you can purchase the item, right?
Exactly.
So that would be a way to use one of these sinking funds.
Exactly. Let's talk about what some of those sinking funds could be.
Yeah.
Now, for every household, we recommend everybody has an emergency fund.
Absolutely.
It depends where you are in your financial journey. If you are still trying to get out of debt, then we recommend you have a starter emergency fund. If you're out of debt, then we recommend you have a fully funded 3 to 6 month emergency fund, depending on your household's needs, depends on if it's 3, 6, or somewhere in between. Every home, we believe, needs an emergency fund. That's a need off the top. If you own a vehicle, having a car maintenance fund just makes sense because not only is there general wear and tear, tires, brakes, windshield wipers, there's registration and oil changes, but then there's things that happen to your vehicle that you don't plan on that you have to have repaired. Same with your home maintenance. Have an account for home maintenance. Now, we're not talking about this isn't an account for saving for a down payment for a home. This is just you're already a homeowner. You have a roof that is going to need to be replaced, an air conditioner unit that has to be repaired or replaced, hot water tank. You want to remodel a bathroom, anything that is within the confines of inside your home, your landscaping. Have an account for that so you can plan and save up for it. What are some of the other ones we like to save for, Donald?
You hit a bunch of them, but I think education's on the list, right? So that's a longer range target. And I would even say, talking to some people out there that don't have a home yet, you may be sinking money into a down payment on a home, right? Or maybe you have to pay a deposit early for an upcoming vacation. So we have vacation funds. Those are very common, right? And we see those a lot. Most of us have a vacation fund. And then you've just got some of the other sort of miscellaneous things. So you've got holiday shopping that comes up. We have an account or a fund that covers just gifts in general, because I shared with Christine earlier that, there's not a month that goes by that we don't buy a gift for somebody, because my son has so many friends. And so he's always going to a birthday. He's going to a birthday tomorrow or maybe this afternoon. So he, there's always going to be a cost associated with those types of activities. And so these are some examples of some funds that you could establish so that you always have those extra needs covered. Now, you're still going to budget them. There's still going to be a monthly activity. You're going to sink money into these different buckets, but it prevents the expenses from hitting your monthly budget needs.
Absolutely. And you can even take it another step further. If you pay any kind of expense on an annual basis, maybe it's oil, like fuel oil for your home in the winter. Maybe it's your insurance costs you haven't broken out, annually or biannually. You can put money into these sinking funds each month. So when it's time to buy the fuel oil, write the check to the insurance agency. Maybe there are annual subscriptions that you have. Donald mentioned in an episode, I think it was last season or earlier this season, that when he signs up for anything, any kind of subscription, reoccurring payment, he does it on an annual basis so he can reevaluate. Does he want to pay for that again for a whole nother year? Well, if you save for these all throughout the year, then when those bills come due, it's very easy to make that payment.
Thank you for joining us on this episode of Off Limits.
Beyond the podcast, we are money coaches who want to help you.
So if you are looking for help managing your money, use the links in the description below to contact either of us and learn how coaching can help you thrive.
Lastly, please help us to spread the word by subscribing, leaving a comment, and sharing our podcast with your friends and family.